Hey everybody, and welcome once again to Toy Talk. Now I want to talk to you this month about piecing your life together. And you know, at 48 years old, I haven't really quite pieced my life together, so it might sound a little odd for me to be talking on this topic, but in reality, that might be exactly what it is that makes me able to speak on this topic. Because you see, I don't think we just kind of put a piece in and hey, your life is done. We do move day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, but there's a lot of changes and turns and twists that take place along the way. Now, the way I see it, we really start making decisions or putting pieces in place at about 18 years old. Now, I'm not saying we haven't made choices in life before then. We most certainly have. We've chosen our friends. We've chosen activities we're going to be involved in, whether it's school, if you're involved in drama, or maybe the student newspaper or sports, whatever it is. But most of the choices, or really all the choices that we've made up until this point, are really kind of secondary to choices that our parents have made. They've chosen what house we're going to live in, what town we're going to live in, and that has dictated what school we're going to go to. And it's because of where we lived or where we went to school that we made the friends we made, that we met the people we met, that we got involved in the things we got involved in. But come about 18, you start making some serious choices or putting pieces in place that kind of lay a foundation for the rest of your life. It's at this point that we decide, you know, are we going to continue on with school? Are we going to go to college? Are we going to get a job? Are we going to take a little time off? And if you do decide you're going to go to college, are you going to live at home? Are you going to live in the dorms? Are you going to get an apartment? Are you going to take a roommate or live on your own? Are you going to stay in your home state or go to another state or even another country? There's so many choices being made that are pieces being put in that kind of lay a foundation for the rest of your life. Now, let's look at it this way. Let's say we decide we are going to go to college and we're going to study to be a teacher. Okay, so we start putting that piece in place. We've picked a school, we've picked a major, we're going to live in the dorm. Pieces are going in, are getting into place. And now you start taking the classes, and a lot of these are chosen for you. There's certain classes you're required to take, but then you also have electives, and these may be things that can help you improve your teaching skills, or maybe things that'll help in everyday life. And again, you're putting pieces into place. And you go down, you finish your classes, the time comes, you graduate. Now you have to decide, am I going to go to graduate school or am I going to start teaching? And let's say you decide to teach. Now you step out, and at this point you decide again, where are you going to live? The same state that you went to school? Or are you going to go back home or somewhere completely different? And then you start going out for interviews. You start applying to schools. And let's say you get offers from 3 different schools. You have to choose exactly where it is you're going to work. You're putting another piece in place. Now let's say you're out there, you've started your job, you're teaching 3rd grade, and you've had your first year, you kind of worked things out, figured out how the class ran, got everything's going smoothly, and now the next year comes, and you got a whole new group of kids that maybe learn in a different way. And again, now it comes that you're not just putting pieces in, but sometimes you have to pull pieces out to get things to work together. You can't just keep adding on. There's things that need to be removed when we're piecing our lives together. So we've gotten this done. We're teaching, and we've got our social life. Maybe we've gotten married after a few years. We start to have children, and there's different pieces being put into place, and there's things we need to remove. And it's around this time that your life starts to take some form. It's a little beyond foundation. There's a little more forming. It's Toy Talk. If we were talking about Legos and you're building a Lego house, you build it and you add on. But say you want to move a door to a different spot. You don't just add a second door on. You pull one out, fill it in with other pieces, move it aside, put it in here. Obviously, I love listening to motivational speakers, and one of the pioneers of self-help is Earl Nightingale. Earl Nightingale is known as the Dean of Personal Development. Now, in the 1950s, Earl Nightingale came up with a message called The Strangest Secret. And during this, one of the things he says is that around the age of 25, most people have got a kind of idea of where they're going in their life. They're excited about it. They're starting to move forward. But if you go to these same people 40 years later, at 65 years old, what you tend to find out is that about 1% of those people that were excited, that are moving forward in life, have become wealthy. About 4% are self-sustaining. They have their own income. Another 5% will still be working. And the remainder really have no idea what's going on in their lives, how they're going to get, where they're going to live, what they're going to do. This is not to say the success is based on wealth, because Earl Nightingale does go on to say that his definition of success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. In other words, you have a goal and you start working toward it. You start progressing toward it. And as we're progressing, that's what's considered success. Now, another of the pioneers of self-help is Dale Carnegie. Now, Dale is mostly known for his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. But in one of his other books, How to Stop Stress and Live Life, he talks about his father. And he says there was a man who was very successful. He became the CEO of one of the most successful cigarette company in the world around that time. And at 33 years old, he was trying to relax. And as he went out hiking, he dropped dead. Right there, 33 years old. And Dale says that he considers his father, who died at 89 years old as a farmer in Missouri, penniless, to be more successful than this CEO because he was doing what it was he was called to do. Now, back to the teaching. Now, you might get to the point that, hey, this was your goal, you've reached it, and that's success, and that's great. Your pieces are there, your foundation is set, your life is solid. But you might come to a point where you start realizing, teaching isn't necessarily what I really enjoy. Maybe it's I enjoy telling the kids stories. That's my favorite part of the day is story time. And you start thinking, man, I'd like to write books, tell stories of my own for these children. So maybe you start adding those pieces in. You start writing books. You go out, maybe eventually write a few, get a literary agent, a publisher, books start coming out, and maybe you start having some success in this area. And now you need to make another decision. Do I continue teaching? Do I focus on the books? Or do I do both? What do I do here? And again, let's say you decide to start focusing on the books. You need to take out those pieces that we're teaching, and to keep the foundation solid, you put the ones in place for the writing. Now, I honestly believe, I've said this several times on Toy Talk, that everybody has a special talent, something that they are especially good at. And as you're working toward that, if you have a desire for something, I really believe that's what you're supposed to be doing. If you go back to the root words of desire in Latin, it's desire, it's of the Father or of the Creator. When you have something in you that you really feel passionate about, you really feel this is what you're supposed to do, then I believe that's your call. That is your goal, as it were. That is your worthy ideal. And I encourage you, continue working toward that. Keep putting the pieces in place, and I believe you will have a well-pieced, successful life. We'll go to commercial.
You see, I was standing outside my mouse hole the other day, when all of a sudden, along comes this cat. So quick as a flash, I turned into a dog. A ruff ruff. But the cat turned into a dragon. So I turned into a fire engine. How's that? And then he turned into a submarine. So I became a submarine-eating kipper. I said a kipper, not a slipper. Thank you very much. But he turned into an anti-kipper ballistic missile. So I turned into a missile cruncher. Crunch, 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 crunch. Just in time to see him change into a very, very big elephant. So do you know what I did then? I turned back into a mouse, and I gave him the fright of his life. Just like that.
Hey everybody, welcome back. And a couple of months ago, we met this month's guest kind of briefly at Fan Expo when I said that toys run in the family, and we met my cousin Joe. Well, Joe, as you can probably guess from this layout, is a pretty big Lego collector. And Joe, welcome to Toy Talk.
Hey, glad to be here, Jack.
Joe, how did you get into starting, collecting, building Legos?
It really started when we were kids.
Well, that's true. They were always around.
So I've had them for a while, and then just kind of fell off a little bit for a while. But then I slowly got back, and I had gotten married, I had kids, and they started enjoying Legos, and it really kind of brought all the
Exactly.
niche back, and as you can see, it's
You know,
developed into
we all
something.
got that period where like we were all into the toys and stuff, and then you got into, you know, in the different shows, you know, the kind of geek culture stuff. And then you go to high school, and it's like, you absolutely can't admit you like this stuff, even if you do.
No, you can't.
In
Not at all.
college, it's kind of cool again, and you know, again, like you said, as you start having kids, you know, it becomes a big thing. But along with the Legos, I mean, what I really wanted to talk about is you're a big Disney guy.
Yes, I am.
Now, your family goes to Disney World fairly often. You're on some kind of a package deal. Tell us a little bit. Some people might be interested in that, you know?
Yes. Well, it's called Disney Vacation Club.
Yes.
So what it is you buy, I guess, a house. I guess you say it's not really a timeshare. It's more of an ownership. So
Okay.
you can choose to go whenever you want. You have a year to use points. You have so many points to use.
Yeah.
And you get to stay at the deluxe resorts
Okay.
for essentially staying at a value resort price.
Yes.
So you're using the points that you have, and then you get discounted tickets, you get discounted meal plans, you get discounted, you know, and a lot of different things.
And you get to go there fairly often.
Right, and you know, it really works out for us.
You guys go, what, like 2-3 times a year?
Well, we go at least once a year with
Okay.
this new deal. We sometimes can go up to twice a year.
Yeah.
Just because sometimes the cost of flights is more.
Sure.
More than
Yeah, I
anything
understand
else.
that separate thing. Sure.
But then, you know, that's why I got the Cinderella Castle.
Yeah, and I
that's
was going to
just-
get right into that. You know, speaking on the Disney, I mean, you're into all these different Lego sets, and I mean, obviously you have a lot of Disney ones, and you know, Cinderella's castle, it's right at the center of Disney World. You know.
That one was actually a gift to my wife.
Okay.
Because she really enjoyed it, but of course she didn't put it together. I had to, which I of course didn't mind. But
Yeah,
I mean,
of course it's fun. Yeah.
yeah,
You know, I was telling you the other day, my son had his 9th birthday just 2 days ago, and I bought him like a little Lego Ninjago set, you know, and man, he put that thing together in about like 10 minutes. I was thinking it was going to take a while and I was going to have to help him. And like 10 minutes later, he's got the thing together, and I'm going, I need to get this kid more Legos because he's always been into kind of like tools and hands-on kind of stuff. And man, he just pieced that thing together. I'm not a hands-on guy, you know.
Yeah.
I bought I thought a couple of years ago, maybe I'll try getting into Legos. You know, it might be a nice little hobby to come. And I got like the little Kylo Ren. It was, and you know, about 6 hours and 3 mental breakdowns later, I finally got the thing together, you know. So
yeah, no, but that one didn't take 10 minutes. That one took.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
It took close to 17 hours.
Okay. So that's actually even pretty impressive. You know, I mean, yeah, I was thinking this was like a weeks or months type thing, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I did it over a couple days. It was wintertime, it was snowing outside, and I wasn't going out, so.
You know, it kind of surprised me when I got the Kylo Ren, though, because, I mean, we did the Legos as kids, and it was the blocks. It was the system, as they would say it.
Right.
I didn't realize they had changed all these pieces. So when I got this thing, and it was like, these aren't Lego. What are these? You know, there's all these.
They have definitely evolved, I guess is the right word, to make different shapes
Absolutely.
and everything else.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, it's evolved a lot. There's this, you know, all these different pieces. It's not just the little square blocks anymore. I mean, it's a totally different company, and it needed to be. You know, Lego was starting to die out in the like early '90s, and it was the Bionicles that kind of brought them back.
Right, and then as you can see, there's Ray, which is kind of a bionicle.
Yes, I was thinking that.
For that. I mean, it's definitely, you know, more evolved than what we've really thought it was going to be. And then, you know, with the pieces, you can do anything with these Legos today.
So that's the other thing Tony was saying. I mean, I thought he was going to put together this one thing on the bottom. He put together like 4 things inside of a day. You know, he kept taking it apart and doing something different. It was like, geez, yeah.
For this episode, I was trying to find. They had I couldn't find my original Lego set that I had. That had a tractor trailer truck, a race car,
hard to
all
find
with
those
the same
original toys
pieces
from when we were
that you could
kids,
pull it
yeah.
apart and take them back together.
It's exciting when you do find them, though.
Oh, it is.
It's always cool. But, you know, getting into Star Wars, though, we got the new movie coming out that's going to finally complete the Skywalker not trilogy. What is it? It's like what do you call 9 movies? It's not I don't know. It's not a nineology.
The third trilogy.
The third trilogy, let's say that, yeah. And that's coming out just in about a month now in December.
Yep.
You know, we hung out all the time as kids, and I don't remember if we saw the Star Wars movies together in the movie theaters. I know we saw.
I know we
think we saw some of them.
A New Hope
Okay, so
in
the
the
original.
in the Gloucester Cinema, which is no longer there anymore.
Yeah, it's a liquor locker now. Been for several years. Yep.
We saw it there, and if I remember, I think we sat in the balcony, which they actually still one of the few theaters
Remember
that
the
actually had a balcony.
yes. But the Star Wars is just so huge, and I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they wrap up the Skywalker saga. Is the last one called? Is it Rise of Skywalker?
Yes, it's definitely going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to the end.
And if you could bring it over, we have a lot of little Star Wars stuff here, but you brought in one of the bigger Star Wars pieces.
Yep.
From Lego. And of course, this is the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
You can just set it right here if you'd like.
Sure.
And tell us, now this is the smaller version because the larger one we wouldn't be able to bring in here.
Yeah, no. The larger one is close to, I believe I want to say it's around 2.5 foot in diameter.
Yeah, it'd be too big to,
This one's
put on the
actually
desk.
18. This one's actually 18 inches. Yeah, you can actually
I
open
was
up
going
all
to say,
the
I'll
little
open it
panels.
up, show how it's not just
Yep.
the Falcon itself on the outside. You get all the inner
Yep, you
workings.
definitely get
You
all
got,
the inner workings.
over here, Obi-Wan and Darth Vader in their classic battle. You've got, what is it, R2-D2, or
Yep.
Chewbacca playing against, who was he playing against?
C-3PO.
Against C-3PO and being warned, to let him win because Wookiees tend to rip people's arms out when they lose, you know?
Yes, they
and
do.
all the different stuff going on here. It's an awesome piece.
Yeah, no, and that one, believe it or not, only took me an hour and a half to put that one together.
I was just going to say, it took 17 hours on that one. What did this take? Okay,
Yeah,
so
that one took an hour and a half. The bigger one, which I don't have yet, but it's in the plans of getting.
sure.
The big one is supposed to take upwards of 20 hours to put together.
Okay. Now, how long, how often do you, how long do you spend? I mean, obviously you're not going 20 hours straight. You generally put in a couple hours, an hour.
It all depends.
Yeah.
Like certain ones, if I know that it's going to take like under 2 hours, I'll just put the whole thing together.
Sure.
That one was the Cinderella Castle
gonna take a
was
while.
over 3 days.
Okay, so still, that's not bad. 17 hours in 3 days is, gosh, you're looking at about 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
So, well, must have been a long weekend.
But like I said, it was snowing.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I mean,
okay, yeah,
I
you
had
did say that,
nothing
yeah.
to do. I went out, I shoveled, I came back inside and sat down and just went to town.
All right, and of course, we got a lot of other little Star Wars stuff we're going to talk about in a few minutes, but we're going to be bringing on a couple more guests. Now, you have a couple I'm going to close this back up just because it looks so cool as we're talking, but now I know you're remarried and you have a couple of stepsons. I remember when they turned 21 a couple of years ago.
Yes, they are 23.
23, and now they're autistic.
Yes.
And they've been very much involved with the Legos with you guys and
They have.
into building. And we're going to bring Richard and Andrew in. It's Richard and Andrew Fisher,
Yep.
your stepsons. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Legos with them. And they've done a lot of these other Star Wars pieces.
Yes, they have. They've actually done most of the Star Wars figures that are on the table.
Okay. So we're going to cut to a little bit of a break, have a commercial, and we'll come back with Richard and Andrew Fisher joining us.
Excellent.
Excellent.
There's so much more than ever before at Disney World, Mickey's birthday land, for you to see a whole new land of fantasies. Nighttime thrills that light up the skies, all before your very eyes. There's more at Disney World all summer long. At Disney World, there's so much more than ever before.
Okay, well, Joe and I are back, and now we are joined by Joe's stepsons. We've got Andrew and Richard. Hi, guys.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, good to see you, man.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to Toy Talk, Richard. And, you guys have been doing Legos with your father for quite a while now, right?
Yeah, and when we use the extra pieces, we usually expose ourselves and make our like
you
I
make
said.
your own, you build them yourself?
Yeah, we do make them our own, but if we use the extra pieces, we make our own, like I said.
And you guys like to do the Star Wars ones, obviously. You brought some in. And, Richard, you got the Cantina with
Most
Luke's
awesome
Sand Speeder.
with the sand speeder, and this is the Spectre, who
From Rebels, from
from Star Wars Rebels.
The Spectre.
Good job. Oh no, he met one of the voice actors.
Yep,
Is
we
one of
did.
the voice actors, absolutely.
bet.
Now, in the Cantina, I know you've got Greedo over here.
Guido
And I got to ask you, man, who shot first, Han or Greedo?
She saw Solo. Han shot first.
Han shot first, yes, absolutely.
Depends on which version.
Depends on which version, exactly.
It's- yep.
When they changed it later, like 20 years later on the re-releases, they kind of let's just say they screwed up.
They did.
Yeah,
They did.
Greedo shoot first. And now we're supposed to believe that one of the greatest bounty hunters in the galaxy cannot shoot somebody that is closer than you and I are.
Yes,
okay,
absolutely.
We won't go there. But so you made the cantina. How long did it take you to put that together?
Pretty long.
Pretty long, huh?
Yeah, but you can see that there's a sliding door that leads to the
Sliding doors. Yep. Oh wow, he folds. I didn't even realize that part folded out.
and the story is the main plot line of the one. Ben Kenobi,
yep.
Obi-Wan has to take Luke to a ship to get to Alderaan.
He had to take him to the cantina so they could get a ship to Alderaan. Here's the ship. And you guys have the Solo shirts on, and we learn a little bit more about why he owes the money and everything from that movie.
Yes, we do.
So that was a interesting, kind of spin-off. I liked Solo. I don't know. It was,
Speaking of spin-offs,
over to Andrew. Yep.
yes,
And that's the Mandalorian cruiser.
Mandalorian
Yeah.
Mandalorian speeder, as I keep getting that wrong.
Yeah, which includes two spin-offs on Disney Plus, The Mandalorian and Darth Maul, which
Darth
is
Maul,
also in that movie.
He does make a little kind of cameo in Solo, a little
Which
space
proves
there.
he's in the Galactic Civil War. He's also getting his own spin-off.
He does, yes. There's been Darth Maul has played a much bigger role in the cartoon spin-offs, the TV shows like Rebels. Again, like Joe and I were saying earlier, Star Wars kind of has a way, its continuity has a way of changing
can
over
change.
time. You never know. But then back over to Andrew, you brought the Sarlacc pit.
Yes.
The Sarlacc pit, of course, is where we finally see Boba Fett killed.
Yep.
And again, proving that bounty hunters in the galaxy of Star Wars are not necessarily as talented as we tend to think they should be.
Even though Boba Fett is still the most talented bounty hunter,
is.
that is.
He and
that is
Greedo,
accurate.
though, both got kind of off pretty easily when it was all said and done. In the
Well, he
movies.
kind of fell into the Sarlacc pit, and I guess there's
Yeah,
still
I mean-
rumors that he's really still not dead, but who knows?
Yeah, and we'll see in the upcoming movies. I wouldn't be surprised again with continuity seeing Boba Fett back, but he is,
Yep.
by all rights, dead at the moment.
probably do that. I wouldn't be surprised if it takes place. It's in both timelines, but then again, I would bet on it.
The Sarlacc pit, how long did that take you to put together?
The Sarlacc took a bit. Was Sarlacc probably approximately 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, so it's a pretty simple one to put together, 15,
But
20
the
minutes.
scale,
There's a lot of nice stuff. I mean,
there is a
Obviously you guys
compartment
enjoy
for
doing it.
your
Well,
the
and
blaster.
and to be honest, speaking of just Legos in general, this is, I would say, probably an eighth of what they actually have up in their room.
tons. And I mean, it's just perfect timing talking about Star Wars with, like we said, Rise of the Skywalker
Right.
coming out in about a month. I specifically asked you. I said, bring in some Star Wars stuff and bring in some
So
Disney stuff.
that's what we did.
And yeah, we did plenty of that. But getting back to the Disney stuff,
Yep.
you did bring in a piece that you
I
guys
did.
are getting ready to work on. It's still in the box. You can
It's
bring
still
the
in the
box
box.
up. It was just mailed to you. We cut the box open
Yep.
right here in the studio.
So, and this
And,
is, of course, one I've been looking forward to
Aside.
doing.
I walked into Think Geek, saw that, sent a picture of it to you immediately because I knew you'd love it. You had actually already ordered it.
Yeah, I'd already ordered it. Of course, Steamboat Willie from the original episodes and the
It was
original
the
Mickey.
first Mickey Mouse,
Yep.
short film ever.
Yep, and it actually does have the original two Mickeys
Mickey
for
and
the
Minnie.
actual
A little
design.
different, yeah. You guys must like Disney as much as your family. You go there pretty often with them to Disney World.
Yeah, yes.
Do you have a favorite ride?
Not really. I do think Star Wars is kind of favorite of mine. I'll
Star
say
Wars is
that.
favorite. And now next time you guys go, there's going to be Galaxy's End to go. It's going to be the
Yeah.
whole Star Wars Galaxy set up there.
Yep, Galaxy's
That'll be
Edge.
fun.
And
Yeah,
of course,
Galaxy's
I'm
Edge.
looking forward to the Falcon ride and looking forward
Yeah.
to Rise of the Resistance will actually be open when we go. Then Rise of the Resistance will actually open up December 20th, I believe.
Okay, and you're
is the
going in
opening day.
March, you said?
And we're going in March.
Excellent. So you'll get to see all that. And I mean, I love the Steamboat Willie piece. The thing that really I loved so much was just that it's black and white, man. Doing a Lego set fully in black and white, I just thought that was so cool.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a tougher challenge than what people actually probably really think it's going to be
I would
being black and white.
think it will be. I mean, it's kind of like when you're doing a puzzle of like gumballs or something. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like you can't tell. As a matter of fact, I was really into puzzles when I was younger. I just haven't
So
really
am I.
stuck with that older. But I remember the toughest one I ever did actually happened to be
Like what's
Star
that?
Wars related. We did the battle between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan,
Yep.
the lightsaber battle. And almost every piece is like a 2,000 piece puzzle, and every piece was like black or
gray.
brown. It was like, that's tough, you know, when you're in just a couple of colors.
Yeah.
Good that my brother is into puzzles. That's why
He's
I
into
just
puzzles.
said.
Yep.
He is.
All right. Well, it's been great having you guys on here. We'll have to do something again sometime. And
Absolutely.
in the
It's a
meantime, guys,
pleasure to
keep
be here.
enjoying doing your Legos, getting out to Disney World. I'm glad to have you guys on the show.
You too. You too. Thanks.
And Joe, always great having you.
Yeah, it's always,
Good seeing
it's
you
always great
again.
to be here, man.
And we'll see you again next month on Toy Talk.
To take a ride.